get this show on the road. Alright, guys, this is how I want to do it. You guys, instead of me just putting in answers, we're gonna discuss answers and we're gonna see. So we're gonna basically share knowledge. So instead of one person telling their opinion or a solution that was given to another person, all of us is going to basically tell our opinion and our reason. So when you type in, if it's 1, if you think is breathing is the answer, put 1A. Don't just put A because it's gonna cause a confusion. Oh, first of all, thank you all for joining, alright? This is gonna be awesome, awesome, super duper 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 awesome, guys. Alright, so number 1 says, which of the following is characteristics of a living organism? Is it breathing, excretion, locomotion, or photosynthesis? So basically, I think it's breathing. So if I want to write breathing, I would say 1A. I wouldn't just put A. So other persons that join the chat can actually see what's happening and do what can follow basically. Alright, so 1A, that is breathing. Which type of cell can contract? Epithelial cell, egg cell, or is it the muscle cell or the nerve cells? So which type of cell can contract? Mark on the paper, so you have to help me today, alright? Alright, 3. When humans respire, they use up, is it A, carbon dioxide and glucose, B, glucose and oxygen, or is it C, oxygen and water, or is it water and carbon dioxide? Remember guys, these are all past papers, and that number 4, oh no, we are at number 3. Number 3 is glucose and oxygen. Alright guys, glucose and oxygen. So just help me out by typing glucose and oxygen. So you're gonna put 3B. Why I'm doing this, guys, I'm unable to write on it. Please just forgive me for that. I couldn't get the book to buy because I already rented it and they're not gonna sell me it again. But nevertheless, I still have to try. So now we're gonna have more interaction than just watching. Alright? So go ahead, put your answer in the chat. Alright, so number 4, all food chains start with a consumer. Start with, is it A, consumer? Take out this. Is it B, decomposer? Or is it C, a predator? Or is it A producer? So you guys type that answer. So if you think it's producer, type 4D. I want you guys to get this before we move along. It's very important. Alright guys, put in your answer so we can just discuss. So number 4, all food chains start with D, a producer. So number 4 is D. Let's move on to number 5. For the persons who are just joining, I'm unable to write on the paper as usual. So just bear with me today. We're going to do it a little bit different. Alright? Persons, you can just type in the chat, or you can take a book, make a notes, 5A, and you watch back the tape, alright? So number 5, the diagram shows the nitrogen cycle, and it gives you all of this information, and it says during which stage does death and decay occurs? During which stage does the death and decay occur? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Guys, I'm not seeing anyone talking in the chat, you know. What's happening? So number 5 is A. Number 6, the diagram shows an animal cell. Which part control the entry of chemicals into the cell? So number 5, 6 says, which part control the entry of chemicals into the cell? Number 6 is A, right here. Alright. The diagram shows a plant cell. Which part absorbs light energy for photosynthesis? Which part absorbs light energy for photosynthesis? Is it A, 1, is it B, 3, or is it C, 5, or is it D, 6? So number 7 is 5, and that is C. So C will be the answer for that one. Number 8, which disease is caused by a virus? Is it A, cholera, B, gonorrhea, C, influenza, or is it D, malaria? So number A says, which disease is caused by a virus? Is it A, cholera, B, gonorrhea, is it C, influenza, or is it D, malaria? And that would be influenza. So number 8 is C. Number 9, a lack of vitamin A in the diet is linked to, is it A, anemia, B, night blindness, or is it C, rickets, or D, tooth decay? Lack of vitamin A. Type in your answer, guys. We're gonna lock down this. We have a lot of paper. Only fault we cannot write on the thing, but we're still gonna push. If it's even one. So number 8. Which disease is caused by a virus? Is it cholera, gonorrhea, influenza, or malaria? And that we said was C, influenza. Number 9, a lack of vitamin A in the diet is linked to, is it A, anemia, B, night blindness, or is it C, rickets, or D, tooth decay? And number 9 is B, night blindness. Alright, let's move on to 10. What is the main storage product formed by a leaf as a result of photosynthesis? Is it A, glucose? Is it B, lipids? Is it C, proteins? Or is it D, starch? And number 10 is starch. So number 10 is D. Make sure you're taking notes, guys. This is just one paper, alright? It's more than one we're doing. So say paper 1. So when you're watching it, you can, when you watch it back, you can know what's happening. Alright, number 11. Which type of organism carries out photosynthesis? Is it A, decomposers, B, primary consumers, or is it C, producers, or is it D, secondary consumers? And that would be, number 11 is C, producers. Alright, let's move on to 12. When a drop of iodine solution is added to bread, and the bread turned black. This shows that the bread contains, is it A, fat, is it B, protein, is it C, reducing sugar, or is it D, starch? Thanks, DeAndre Lewis. DeAndre Lewis, D. Thank you. But I wanted to put 12D. So for example, just put 12D, so when someone comes, they can see what's happening and they can say, oh, number 12 was D. So guys, just please work with me. Just put it in the chat so we can, when persons, because a lot of persons is gonna join. It's very early. Alright? So 12D. So just put 12D. So when someone comes in the chat, they can get the benefit of it. Alright? Thank you so much for that response. Let's move on to 13. Food is broken down into small soluble particles by, is it A, absorption, B, digestion, is it C, egestion, or is it D, excretion? And number 13 is B, digestion, or some people call it digestion. Let's move on to 13. So number 12, oh, we just did 13. Number 13B. Somebody type that in for me. 13B. It's very important, guys. I'm not able to write on it, so just type it in. 13B. Thank you so much. Alright, 14. And I want to know what you guys think, you know. I'm live in the living colors, guys. Let's go. Which tissue of a tooth contains nerves? Is it A, cement, B, dentine, is it C, enamel, or is it D, pulp? And she says 14 is D, and that is indeed correct. So 14 is D, pulp. Very good, D. Let's call it D. DeAndre. R. Lewis. Very good. Let's move on to 15. Alright, it says question 15 and 16 refer to the following diagram. And here you see the liver, the pancreas, etc. Gallbladder and all of those things. Alright? And it says which part is the stomach. Let me just go back. And it asks you for which part is the stomach. Put the answer for that. 15. Which part is the stomach? And the option says, is it A, that is 1, B 2, C 4, or D 5? So what part is the stomach? And that is right here. I'm unable to mark on it, guys, unfortunately, but that would be right here. So that is 1. Let's see which one match with 1, and that is, so 15 is A. Thanks again, Louis. Very good. Number 16 says, which part produce an enzyme that digests starch? So what is 16? Which part produce an enzyme which digests starch? So look again for 16. Look at the number and then we'll go down. We're going to match it now. So 16. Is it 1, is it 2, or is it 3, or is it 5? It's number 2, so 16 is B. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. We have a lot to go through. 17. Which of the following is a function of the liver? Is it A, destroying alcohol? Is it B, producing fat, digestive enzyme? Is it C, producing insulin? Or is it D, releasing hydrochloric acid? So what is 17? Which of the following is a function of the liver? Come on, guys, what's the function of the liver? Is it A, destroying alcohol, producing fat, digestive enzyme, producing insulin, or releasing hydrochloric acid? So according to the answer sheet that I was given, it is A, destroying alcohol. I did not know that. I did not see that one coming. Let's move on to 18. Respiration is it A, exchange of gases in the alveoli? Is it B, loss of water from the skin? Or is it C, pumping of air and in and out of the lungs? Or is it D, release of energy in cells? Number 18 is D. Let's move on to 19. Which equation represents the process that can cause an oxygen death in muscles? Is it A, glucose, ethanol plus carbon dioxide? Is it glucose, lactic acid plus carbon dioxide? Or is it glucose to lactic acid? Or is it glucose plus oxygen? It's ethanol plus carbon dioxide. What's the answer for 19? Yeah man, thanks Prasad, Kevin, big up yourself Kevin Prasad. Which country you from? That sounds like Trinidad and Tobago. Big up yourself. Alright, thanks for that answer. So 18 is indeed correct. Release of energy in the cell. Now we're on to 19. Anyone want to take on 19? We're not rushing it guys. We're not rushing it. 5 years paper we have here. Alright, 19 is C. Lactic glucose to lactic acid. Oh, Guyana. Big up man, big up, big up. Big up all the Guyanese in the building. Yeah. Happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining. So number 19, according to my answer sheet that was provided, is C. Glucose to lactic acid. Guys, remember to like the video so it can go viral. Thank you so much for joining. Let's look at 20. Oh Lord, where you go? Which events occur when humans breathe? So it's pressure in the chest, pressure in the chest cavity versus volume of chest cavity. Number 20. What's the answer for 20? I'm not moving till I get the answer. Alright guys, sorry about that. Internet issues. It's back up, Don't know what's happening with the providers. What they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. Alright, sorry about that guys, my apologies. Let me just check to see if everything is intact. Don't know what's happening with the government and them something, you know. We need better internet. When you guys become leaders and so forth, I want you guys to implement that. Put in good structure and something. Alright guys. Alright, so we're on to 20. Nobody put in the answer for 20 because the internet went. So it's kind of awkward for me. Alright, let us move on. So 20, is it decrease? Is it the pressure in the chest cavity decreases and the volume of the chest activity decreases? Or is it the pressure in the chest decreases and the volume in the chest cavity increases? Or is it C, increases, the pressure in the chest cavity increase and the volume of the chest cavity decreases. So 20 is C. Prasad, which one you were saying was B? You're saying that the pressure in the chest cavity decreases and the volume of the chest increases, Remember, when you breathe out. Alright, let's move on to 21. The chemical in the blood cell that combine with oxygen is called, is it A, adrenaline, B, DNA, is it C, glucose, or is it D, hemoglobin? No one wants to try 21? Thanks. 21 is indeed D, hemoglobin. Remember guys, like the video, share the video so others can join, alright? Let's move on to 22. Sorry guys. If a person has blood that does not clot easily when he's cut, is it likely that the blood locks? Is it A, plasma, B, platelet, C, red blood cell, or is it D, white blood cells? And 22 is, if the blood does not clot, what allows the blood to clot, guys? Come on, let's go, let's go. Tomorrow is examination. Work with Mr. Bennett and you get a distinction. Come on, let's go. The man says 21 is C. Person said B. I'm assuming that you're talking 22. You must just put the number, guys. So if it's B, 22 is indeed B, the platelets. So the platelet helps the blood to clot. Alright, remember that, just in case you get that in examination. 23 now. Question 23 and 24 refer to the following diagram of the heart and the associated blood vessels. And right there, guys, gentlemen, that is the favorite toy for. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm having serious issues with the internet. The rain fell and fell. At one point I thought the rain was never gonna stop. And I pray to God and I say, God, please do not let this electricity go away because we're having problems from the other day. Alright, so pray for me guys, pray for me. So 22 is indeed D and it is 6, right? So 22 is D. No, 22 is B. We are talking about 23. So 23 is D. So number 6 is the vein that carries blood with the highest oxygen concentration. Alright, so I did see Charlie Taylor put D, very good. Let's move on to 24. We're getting a little fight. Which blood vessel carries blood to the lungs? Which blood vessel carries blood to the lungs? Let's look at the number up there. We have 3, 4, 5, or 6. So 24 is let's look at the options. B. So 4 carries blood to the lungs. Alright, let's move on to 25. Rats are vectors of disease. Which disease is spread by rats? Is it bronchitis, HIV, leptospirosis, or is it malaria? And 25 is C, leptospirosis. leptospirosis are carried by rats. Let's move on to 26. Which of the following is a reflex action? Biting an apple, blinking when a fly gets close, choosing a book, telephoning a friend, and that would be B, blinking when the fly gets close. Let's move on to 27. In which organ is the urea produced? And the urea is produced in the liver. Guys, just bear with me. The internet not so wonderful today, but I'm trying my best. Yeah man, thanks for the likes guys, thanks for the likes. The diagram shows a kidney tube and some of the blood vessels. So we see 1, we see 2, we see 3, we see 4, we see 5, we see 6. Where is glucose reabsorbed? Where is glucose reabsorbed? Is it at 1? Is it at 2? And indeed, 28 is A. Somebody just type that in the chat for me. Very important, guys. Just type in that 28 is A. Thank you guys so much. Guys, the reason I want you to do that, so when somebody watching the playback, they can get the full, because remember, there's no marking on it. I must apologize for that. I made a big mistake. 29, nevertheless, we have to do what we have to do, alright? 29, which of the following would lead to a fall in the concentration of ADH in the blood? Guys, I think I'm just going to call out the answer, so if you're listening, it's just the answer alone you can remember. Which of the following would lead to a fall in the concentration of ADH in the blood? And that is B, having a lot of water to drink. Alright, so if you drink a lot of water, it can cause that. Alright, Persat said the video quality is poor, you cannot see anything. I'm so sorry about that. However, I'm expecting it to get better. As nights, it normally works better. So 29 is B. Very good, thank you. Having a lot of water to drink. Let's move on to 30. Which substance gives support to the walls of the trachea? Which substance gives support to the wall of the trachea? And that is the cartilage. So the cartilage gives support to the walls of the trachea. Let's go on to 31. Which vertebrae do the ribs pivot on? And that would be the thorax. Thoracic. Alright? Guys, it's gonna get better, man. The quality soon up. Because the rain just fell. I don't know what's happened with the internet provider. Alright, let's move on to 32. Which sense organ helps to maintain balance? And the sense organ that helps to maintain balance is the neurons. The neurons help to maintain balance. No, hold on there, guys. I'm mixing up that, 32 is actually 32 I'm supposed to be doing now. Which sense organ helps to maintain balance? Sorry about that. And that is the ear and the eye. Alright. 33 now. Nerve impulses are carried on the body by. That is the neurons. I'm sorry. I read out 33 before 32. Which statement describes the main function of the lens? And the main function of the lens, one that describes the main function of the lens is it helps to focus light rays. So 34 is D. It helps to focus light rays. Let's move on to 35. Which activity is controlled by a homeostatic mechanism? And 35 would be D, maintaining a constant body temperature. Let's move on to 36. An animal has 6 pairs of chromosomes in the nuclei of the cell in its skin. What will be the chromosomes content of the nucleus of the sperm cell? An animal has 6 pairs of chromosomes in the nuclei of the cell in the skin. The cells in its skin. What will be the chromosomes content of the nucleus of a sperm cell? And 36 is 6 chromosomes. So it will have 6. Let's move on to 37. Which part is the scrotum? So you are supposed to list which part is the scrotum. Is it A, 1, B, 7? See the other option? Or is it 9? So you're going to look at the diagram. And that would be 9. So 37 is D. Alright guys, didn't hear this, I didn't see any response from you guys. What's happening, my people? What's happening? Alright, let's move on to 38. More diagram. This causes a lot of problem in society, this diagram right here. Let's see what question they ask about it. In which part are the sperm released during sexual intercourse? And that would be right here. So that is 6. So let's move on to 39. The release of the ova or the egg cell from the ovary is, I remember we said we're just going to go straight to the answer. The release of an ova, egg cells from the ovary is the ovulation. Ovulation. So 39 is ovulation. 40. Which pair of blood vessels carries oxygenated blood? Which pair of blood vessels carry oxygenated blood? And that would be the pulmonary vein and the umbilical vein. So 40 is D. Somebody can type that in for me. 40 D. Guys, you don't work with me, no. No work with me, man. If somebody watch the playback, they should just can watch it and say 1 is A, 2 is C, 3 is whatever. Just please, man. Even you, it can benefit you too. So whatever, thanks, Prasad. Let's keep putting them 41 and so on. We can watch the playback and can see the answer at the same time. We have to get innovative. I'm unable to write on it because it's not my program. Alright? So 41, the concentration which hormones in the blood increase when an ovum is released from the ovary, and that is which hormone? What's 41? That is C, estrogen. So 41 is C. The concentration of which hormone in the blood increases when an ovum is released from the ovary, and that is estrogen. Let's move on to 42. Which disease can be successfully treated with antibiotics? Guys, don't catch none of them, alright? Which disease can be successfully treated with antibiotics? So 42, what's the answer for 42? Don't want you guys catch this ever. Here is a bad thing, and that is gonorrhea. Let's move on to 43. A gambete is a cell. Is it A, formed by fertilization, B, produced by mitosis, C, with the applied number of chromosomes, or is it D, with recessive alleles? And 43 is, what's the answer for 43, guys? That would be C. So if you guys see it in exam, hope you remember. Alright, let's move on to 44. Which is the feature of meiosis only? Which is the feature of meiosis only? Is it A, each chromosome makes an exact copy of itself? B, it occurs in the inflammation of the lymphocytes? Is it C, only two daughter nuclei are formed? Or is it D, the number of chromosomes in the nucleus is half? So 44, the number of chromosomes in the nucleus is half. Alright? That's meiosis only. Let's move on to 45. An allele is, and that is B. Very good, thanks Prasad. Number 44 is D. So let's move on to 45 now. An allele is a different form of gene. So number 45 is B. So 45 is B. Let's move on to 46. Individuals of a species show slight difference between each other. Which of the following cannot cause such variation between individuals? And he say cannot, you know. I just see that word there. Which of the following cannot? And that would be environmental factors. So 46 is, hold on. Individuals of a species show slight difference between each other. Which of the following cannot cause such variation between individuals? And 46 is A, asexual reproduction. Alright, so let's move on to 47. I almost finished one paper, guys, which is a true statement about a sickle cell anemia. It is a result of, what's the cause of sickle cell? A, alleles inherited from parents. So sickle cell is inherited from your parents. Let's move on to 48. I hope the quality is better now, guys. Which of the following are present in an injection that will safely give the recipient active immunity? And 46 is dead pathogens. 48 rather, dead pathogens. Let's move on to 49. The diagram shows a family tree. Individual 6 is a person with a condition such as sickle cell anemia. Individual 1 is the carrier of this condition. And let us see the options for 49. Which other individual must also be a carrier for this condition? Which one of them also? Yes, 47 is A. Thank you so much. Alright, so what's for 49? individual 5, right? So that is C. So number 49 is C. Notice the odd number something, something, something. Alright. Let's move on to 50. I hear them bring a lot of these though. The diagram shows a family tree of a person with a condition known as albinism. Right? And they say male, they give you the key and everything. And then they says now, which statement is true about albinism? Albinism can only be seen in males. Is it B? Albinism is caused by a dominant allele. Is it C? Albinism only shows an individual's heterozygous for the allele. Is it D? To show in the phenotype, albinism must be inherited from both parents. And 50. What's the answer, guys? What's the answer for that? D. That's correct. Good, Charlene. Good, Charlene. Alright, let's move on to 51. Human insulin can now be obtained from bacteria in a culture medium. The human insulin gene was inserted into the bacteria by, is it A, cloning, B, genetic engineering, is it C, natural selection, or is it D, selective breeding? And that is genetic engineering. Let's move on to 52. You can see clearly. At which stage in its life cycle does the mosquito transfer plasmodium into humans? And that is the egg stage. Alright, guys? Unfortunately. 53. The role of phagocytes in the blood cell is to, is it A, to bring about clotting? Is it B, engulf and destroy pathogens? Or is it C, produce antibodies? Or is it D, to secrete antigen, stimulate lymphocytes? What's for 53? Read it again. The role of phagocyte in the blood is to A, bring about clotting, B, engulf and destroy pathogens, or is it C, produce antibodies, or is it D, secrete antigen to stimulate lymphocytes? 53 is B, engulf and destroy pathogens. Very good, very good. Louis, very good. 53 is indeed B. Big up yourself. What country are you from? Big up your countries too. Alright. 54. Oh Lord. Alcohol has all of these short-term effects on the human body except, is it A, aggression and violent behavior, B, increased urination leading to dehydration, or is it C, loss of muscle coordination, or D, reduced need for sleep? And 54 is D, reduced need for sleep. Okay, you're from JA. Big up JA people. Yeah. Alright. 55. Which stage in the life cycle of the housefly take in food from the environment? Is it A, egg and larva, B, larva and adult, C, adult and pupa, or is it D, pupa and egg? Yeah man, big up. That's what, 80 that way, 80 that. Alright, big up, big up. Big up the Asians in the house. Yeah. One family, one objective. Pass the exam, get employed, become something successful. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button so other persons can know what go on and join in on this. This is something that is awesome. Awesomeness. Yeah. Alright. Let's move on to 55. That is B, larva and adult. Let's move on to 56. A lot of diagrams, guys. So look out for the diagrams, alright? Take notes. Watch back the tape if you have to. I hope it clear up. The diagram shows the water cycle, and we see all of that. We see with A, we see with B, we see with D. And I bet them are going to ask about something about evaporation. Oh, which stage represents transpiration? Transpiration. So which stage represents transpiration? And that would be you see the options? Oh, the options up here. That is D. Transpiration is D. Right here. Back to the clouds. Yeah, D are the answer. Big up, big up, big up. I don't know what I want with my internet. Come on. So now use it too, you know. Guys, if anything in the later, it's supposed to be way better. When the time get cool and so forth. That them internet are shaky, you know. When you guys become leaders, them something they want to focus on. Make other things, you know, make everything better for the younger generation. Alright, 57. Which of the following shows the correct order in the main stage in the purification of drinking water? So that's 57. And that would be screening, sedimentation, filtration, and chlorination. So 57 is C. Screening, sedimentation, filtration, and chlorination. 58. Which gas needed in the aeration tank is activated sludge treatment of sewage? And that is D, oxygen. Oxygen is so underrated. So that is oxygen. Let's move on to 59 and 60 at the same time. Which of the following is likely to increase the risk of eutrophication in the small lake? And 59 is D, an increased use of fertilizers in surrounding fields. And 60, if untreated sewage enter river, it will D, lower the concentration of oxygen in the water. And remember, we need the oxygen. Big up Prasad, big up. You notice this a lot of these a while ago. Let's go to the next paper. Alright. Guys, just make a note and say paper 2. So people know when one paper done. Just type in paper 2, please. Alright. Thanks so much. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a living organism? And if you see, guys, it's a repeat, repeat, repeat. Alright? So number 1, we're back to 1 again. We have ended one paper successfully. I hope successfully. Kind of rough, the internet is more shaky. But nevertheless, Mr. Bennett is trying. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a living organism? Is it breeding, growth, irritability? We said not. No, that's not a question. What am I dealing with? What am I dealing with? What's the answer for 1, guys? Thanks for the likes, guys. Big up on yourself, big up on yourself. It's gonna get better, alright? As soon as the night come down, the internet works better. That's what I notice. Alright? Which of the following, it said, which of the following is not a characteristics of living organism? And it's A, breathing. So number 1 is A. I think that was the question for the next one. Alright, 2. Which of the following shows the correct order of organism in the food chain? Is it producer, consumer, decomposer, then carnivore? Or is it producer, consumer, carnivore, herbivore? Or is it producer, decomposer, carnivore, herbivore? Or is it D, producer, herbivore, carnivore, decomposer? So number 2 is D. Thank you guys so much. 2 is D. Let's move on. If you're just joining, welcome, welcome. Please remember to share or like. One of the two. Either you share on your status or your social media, or you just like. That's all. Mr. Bennett is not asking for much. Just hit that like button. Alright guys. When Benedict's solution is added to some milk and the mixture is heated, it turns orange-red. This shows that the milk contains, is it A, fat, is it B, protein, or is it C, reducing sugar, or is it D, starch? What's the answer for 3? Three is reducing sugar. Let me see if anyone writing that. Thanks so much, Charlene. Very good, very good. Number 4, anemia can be caused by a lack of which nutrients in the diet? Anemia can be caused from which lack of nutrient in the diet? Is it A, calcium, B, iron, vitamin A, or vitamin C? And that is B, iron, right? So it's iron. Lack of iron causes anemia. So number 4 is B. Thanks so much, Dawkins. Alright, let's move on to 5. Big up everybody in the Caribbean. Anemia can be caused by, we are on to 5 rather. What I'm telling you next? The diagram shows the carbon cycle. So we see the A, the B, the C, and the D. And let us see what they ask us. So they give us the cycle. Everyone should know this from notes. These are what your teacher gave you guys. So you guys make sure you utilize on these marks. Which stage represent combustion? Which stage represent combustion? Is it A? No. B? No. C? No. This. It's D. Combustion is at D. So that gives us number 5 is D. Let's move on to 6. One more click. What is present in all animal and plant cells? So it's common to both. Is it the cell wall? Is it the chloroplast? Is it the mitochondria? Or is it the permanent vacuole? Which is in both? Thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for the likes. YouTube, I'm going to show it off now. Show it off. Number 7, the main role of, number 6 rather. We are still at 6. And that is the mitochondria. So 6 is the mitochondria. Number 7, the main role of a vacuole in a plant cell is to, so number 7 is C, give support to the cell. Number 7 is C, give support to the cell. Let's move on to 8. A person who chooses to eat less food than the body needs may suffer from, is it anorexia, bulimia, kwashiorkor, or obesity? A person who chooses to eat less food than the body needs may suffer from anorexia. So number 8 is A. Let's move on to number 9. Which is a waste product of photosynthesis? Is it carbon dioxide, light, oxygen, or water? Which is a waste product of photosynthesis? Yes, thank you so much. It is indeed A. What about 9? Which part? Which is a waste product of photosynthesis? And number 9 is oxygen. So 9 is C. Guys, these can repeat. Look out for them. Look out for them. So I've been trying to give you all the opportunity you need to pass the exam. Which is a description of a vital capacity? Number 10. Is it air exchange, one breathe at rest, the amount of energy released in 1 minute, or is it the maximum value of air exchange in 1 breath? And number 10 is C. So 10 is C. Number 11. The function of the cilia in the respiratory tract is to, is it A? And let's go straight to the answer. It's B, move mucus towards the throat. That's the function of the cilia in the respiratory system. Let's move on to 12. Which substance is present in the highest concentration in expired air? Which substance is present in the highest concentration in expired air? And number 12 is nitrogen. Number 13. Which compound is produced in a cell when energy is released by respiration? Is it adrenaline, ADH, ADP, or is it ATP? Number 13, that's D, ATP. 14. Which reagent would you use to test for protein in a sample of food? And that is Barrett reagent. So number 14 is Barrett reagent to test for protein in a sample of food. Let's move on to 15. That's it. Which type of tooth is used for biting an apple? Is it canine, is it incisor, is it molar, or is it premolar? And that is incisor. That one was done on my channel yesterday. Let's move on to 16 and 17. Which part is the gallbladder? Which part is the gallbladder? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5? The gallbladder is right here, so that is 4, and 4 is C. Number 17. Can you eat and put down the tablet? Alright? So not eating dinner and play the tablet. We not do them something then, no. Alright, number 17. Which part produces an enzyme that digests fat? And let's go back up to the object. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? The parts that produces an enzyme that digests fat. I think that was done yesterday also. And it is right here, 2, so that is B. So 17 is B, digest fat. Number 18, which equation represents anaerobic respiration in yeast? Is it glucose is equal to carbon dioxide plus ethanol? Is it glucose is equal to carbon dioxide plus lactic acid? Or is it glucose is water plus ethanol? Or is it D, glucose is equal to water plus lactic acid? So 18 is A, carbon dioxide plus ethanol. Ethanol. If you want to call it that way, some people say ethanol. Even though it says 6 watching, I'm assured that it's more than 6. As it only have 20 likes. Number 20. Which component of tobacco smoke? Oh, we didn't do 19. Sorry about that, guys. Which action occurs during breathing out? We did that before. When you're breathing out, the diaphragm is pushed up and the ribs fall. And you can just try it for yourself, alright? Number 20. Which component of tobacco smoke is likely to cause addiction? Is it carbon dioxide, the carbon monoxide? Or is it C, the nicotine? Or is it D, the tar? And that would be the nicotine. No, don't put it there somewhere. Alright. Yeah, thanks. Guys, we don't eat from morning, you know. We got to prepare food or something. So, the dinner just come. So, you guys just go on, do it the same way, right? Put it type in the answer same way. So, number 20, that is C, the nicotine. And I don't know why people still have followed up the nicotine. Number 21, in which part of the blood are hormones carried? Is it the plasma, the platelet, the red blood cell, or is it the white blood cells? So 21 is A. It's in the plasma. So hormones are carried in the plasma. 22, red blood cells do not have a nucleus. As a result of this, what happened because as a result of this, guys? 22. And that would be C. These cells cannot divide. So the red blood cells cannot divide because it doesn't have a nucleus. 23. Which substance present in the blood is only made by white blood cells? And 23 is antibodies. Alright? 24. Which blood vessels carry blood away from the kidney? Is it the hepatic vein, the pulmonary vein, the renal vein, or the vena cava? And that would be the renal vein. So 24 is C. Let's move on to 25. Which of the following disease is caused by a bacterium? Is it asthma, diabetes, gonorrhea, or is it herpes? 26. The following event occurred during the blood clotting. Internet, I give you a big fight. As my grandmother would say, God is able. God is able. So 26. In which of the following event occurred during the blood clotting? And they give you an order. And the answer is B. 2. Platelets are activated. 3. This nitrogen, and then 2. Platelets are activated. So 22 is actually B. 2, 3, 1, 4. Which tube transport urine You see the answer, guys? The 27. Thanks for the like, guys. One more like. I begin to appreciate all of you, alright? Let's go to execute tomorrow. What time is the exam, guys? Is it a morning or evening exam? So 27 is C. The urethra. So the urethra transport the urine into the bladder. Let's move on to 28. The diagram shows a kidney, which we did that one on the earlier paper. Which two structures are involved in filtration? And that would be 2 and 3, right here. Where you see the mouse? That's where filtration occurs. Alright, so 20, that is 2 and 3. 28 is 2 and 3. 29, which organ monitors the water concentration of the blood? Which organ monitors the water concentration of the blood? And that would be your kidney. Keep it safe, guys. 30. Which of the following pairs of joints are both hinge joint? Is it the elbow and the hip? Is it the elbow and the knee? Is it the shoulder and the hip? Or is it the shoulder and the knee? Come again. Which of the following pairs of joints are both hinge joints? Is it the elbow and the hip? Is it the elbow and the knee? Is it the shoulder and the hip? Or is it the shoulder and the knee? And 31 is B, the elbow and the knee. But we did not do 30. Sorry about that, guys. Which of the following action does not involve antagonistic muscles? And that would be the diaphragm movement when inhaling. Alright, let's move on to 32. Sorry about that, guys. Nerve impulse pass along neurons as, is it chemicals, electrical signal, responses, or is it stimuli? So 32 is B, electrical signals. Don't get that wrong in the exam tomorrow. 33, which of the following describe the features of a reflex action? Automatic and fast, automatic and slow, automatic, voluntary and fast, or voluntary and slow. And that would be A, automatic and fast. Think about blinking. 34, that just happen when something going in the eye, right? Which events happen when a person moves from a dim environment to a bright one? The circular muscle of the iris, is it contract? And then the diameter, is it of the pupil decrease? Or is it the circular muscle of the iris contract and then the diameter of the pupil increase? Or it relax and then it decrease? Or it relax and then it increase? So 34 is A. It contract, the circular muscle of the iris contract, and the diameter of the pupil is decreased. Let's move on to 35. When bathing a baby, it is common practice to check the temperature of the bath water by dipping your elbow in it. Which structure will make the decision that the water is too hot? Is it the brain, the nerves of the arm, skin of the elbow, or is it the spinal cord? The brain, the brain, the brain. So 35 is the brain. Which is an example of a clone? A boy and his sister born 2 years apart, a brother and a sister born at the same time, a set of 3 identical girl triplets, or 3 girls aged 1, 3, and 3 with the same parents. And that would be C, a set of 3 identical girl triplets. Alright, so they are identified. Thanks for the likes, guys. One more like. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I feel appreciated when I see the like. You know what I mean? 37. Why they can't leave with sperm without everything they have to put with sperm? Answer. 37. Which part produces the sperm? And that is 1. So 37 is 1. Right here where you see the mouse. Alright. Let's move on to 38. We have more paper, you know, guys. We have more paper. 38 and 39 refer to the female reproductive system. Let's see what question they ask for 38. Which part produces the ova or the egg cells? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 6? And that would be 2. Alright, so that's B. So 38 is B. 39 now. In which part is the zygote implanted? Which part is the zygote implanted? Is it 2, 4, 5, or 6? Let's go back up to the diagram. And that is 4. Right there. Alright. We know the strips already. That's how we come in here. 39, 40. So that's B. So 39 is B. 40. Which change is brought about by estrogen? Is it deepening of the voice, development of breasts, growth of facial hair, or widening of the shoulders? And 40 would be B, the development of breasts. Remember, estrogen is belong to the woman and progesterone belong to the men. So we love estrogen, right? Yeah. Estrogen, we appreciate you. 41. Which of the following diseases is spread by mosquito? Is it bronchitis, dengue, leptospirosis, or tuberculosis? And that is dengue. Alright, that's why the government spray sometime. Which infection may be present in the body by several years before it shows any signs of symptoms? Is it A, HIV, influenza, malaria, or thyroid? And that is HIV. Careful, alright? 43. Which statement about the offspring produced by asexual reproduction is true? The offspring are genetically different from one another, or is it genetically identical to their single parent, or only produces by males, produced by the fusion of gametes? Which is it? So 43 is genetically identical to their single parent. So 43 is B. Different forms of genes are known as, somebody take that one there. Alright guys, you up to 24 likes. Thanks so much, thanks so much, thanks so much. So Bennett appreciate every like. Everyone counts. Every like you like it, you're helping another student. You're not just helping me. So thank you so much for helping me and your colleagues. After this, YouTube is going to show it up in their notification. So they can watch it if they want. So 43 is B. Let's move on to 44. And 44 is A. Different forms of genes are known as alleles. Alright. Move on to 45. Which of the following statement about mitosis is true? The other one was meiosis. This one is mitosis. And chromosomes make exact copies of themselves, and that is indeed correct. So mitosis make chromosomes exact copies of themselves. And to 46, how many chromosomes occur in a cheek cell of a human? Cheek cell rather. How many percent check? Up to 25 likes. Thanks so much, guys. How many chromosomes occur in a cheek cell of a human? And that is 46. 47. Which of the following is true of Down syndrome? Not Down syndrome, Down syndrome. Or Down syndrome. And it is B. It is caused by a poor diet before birth. So parents, you know what I have to do. No, what on there? 47 is D. It's a result of chromosomal mutation. The 47 is D. I was looking at 40 something. Right, let's move on to 48. Which row of the table show the chromosomes that determine the sex of humans? Is it the female XX and the male XY? So this one is 48 is B. The female XX and the male XY. And that should be in your notes. We do your notes before exam. 49, I think we did this one already. Let's just see. Represent an allele from a normal pigment formation and represent the allele for albinism, lack of body pigment. Which row of table shows the genotypes of person 2 and 3? Person 2 and 3. So this the grandparents and the parents. Is it AA, and that is B. On to 50. We're going on fine, guys. We almost finished 2 papers. More to go though, more to go. The diagram shows the inheritance of sickle cell anemia in 3 generations of a family. The mother is expecting a 3rd child. Which pair of individuals must have the same genotype for sickle cell anemia? And that would be A, the father and the mother. Genetically modified food consists of artificial products with little nutrients value, or crops produced only in laboratory conditions, crops sprayed with chemicals to destroy predators, or products of plants that have been given foreign genes. So 51 is D, sadly. Let's look at 52. Which stage in the life cycle of mosquito can be suffocated by spraying oil onto the surface of the stagnant water? Take that one, guys. And 52, you can kill them off at larva and pupa. So that is C. Let's move on to 53. Antibodies are formed by damaged phagocytes, only found in blood after vaccination, produces lymphocytes to neutralize antigen. So 53 is C. 54, which of the following is hereditary disease? Which of the following is an is a hereditary disease? Is it diabetes, trachioca, sickle cell anemia, or is it D, tuberculosis? And number 54 is C, sickle cell anemia. Alright, let's move on to 55. Can you get that from birth? No. My parents get that from 55. Which type of immunity will an injection with a weakened pathogen gives a person? And I think we did that one already. And it's an active acquired immunity. Alright, so let's move on to 56. We're almost at the end of another paper. Thanks be to God. Which stage of the mosquito life cycle is likely to be killed if the inside of the building are sprayed with insecticide? So, and that is A, adult. Alright. As rainwater drains through the soil down an impermeable layer, it will undergo, is it condensation, evaporation, filtration, or is it conspiration? So 57 is C, filtration. Let's move on to 58. Which of the following would be the most suitable site to dig a pit latrine? I'm going to go straight to the answer, guys. B, sandy soil lower down a hill from a drinking water intake. Alright, so 59. Which of the following item is biodegradable? Is it a glass jar, a metal can, a paper bag, or a plastic bottle? And that would be C, a paper bag. Let's move on to 60. Which of the following toxic air pollutants is a product of cigarette smoking? And that is carbon monoxide. We're on to paper 3. Let's go, guys, let's go. We're doing good so far. If you're just joining, hit that like button. If you don't subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. Leave a comment. Again, guys, the answer sheet was provided. But if you have any issues, just make a comment and state why you have issue with whatever number and the correct answer. Which characteristic of living organism is similar to burning fluid in car engine? And that would be D. Number 1 for paper 3 is D. More people watching, thanks guys, thanks for the likes, thanks for the likes. We it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Alright guys, keep on, you guys going on fine. Alright, thank you so much. So number 1 on paper, that is D. Number 2 now, which type of organism is a habitat would be a fungus, carnivore, decomposer, herbivore, or producer? And that is B, decomposer. Which part of the cell allows the movement of material within the cell? And that is the endoplasm reticulum. Go Dr. Bennett, go Dr. Bennett. Pronunciation for your maths teacher. Obtain man. The diagram shows a food web. So let's the food web now, guys. Let's sit for 30 seconds and then we're gonna go down. Secondary consumers in the food web are, let's go up again. That is A, 3 and 4. Duck on the water beetle. More diagram, guys. Expect diagrams tomorrow like dirt. The diagram shows the nitrogen cycle, during which stage are the nitrogen fixing bacteria involved. More people on. Very good. Like it, guys. Like it. We're up to 27 likes. Let's go. Let's go. You're helping out. I'm helping out you. You're helping out your classmates or schoolmates. We all can be successful. Let's go. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so. If you're new here, you're welcome also. I am a presenter, Mr. Bennett. And this is a learning channel, not just maths, alright? So number 5. So it says, during which stage are nitrogen fixing bacteria involved? And that would be D. So number 5 is D. Let's go on to this animal cell. We have done this before. We're ready for the animal cell. The diagram shows an animal cell where in the cell do chemical reactions such as building proteins happen. So where is it? A, is it B, is it C, is it D? And that would be B. Alright? So number 6 is B. Thank you guys so much for staying. This is our third paper. Guys, you see them start repeat now? Yeah. Start repeat now. Which parts support the cell? Is it 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, or 2 and 5? So number 7 is C, 2 and 4. Support the cell. Alright? Let's move on to number 8. Hope the internet working better now. On to 28 likes. Thank you so much for that like, guys. Thank you so much. Live in living colors. Alright? So let's move on to number 8. Which of the following structure is part of a plant cell but not part of an animal cell? Is it the cell wall? Is it the cytoplasm? Is it the mitochondria? Or is it the nucleus? And number 8 is A, the cell wall. So the animal cell does not have a cell wall. Number 9, which type of cell is very good at transmitting electrical impulses? Is it A, epithelial cell, B, muscle cells, C, nerve cells, or D, sperm cell? Why do you have to put sperms everywhere? Number 9 is C, that is the nerve cell. Welcome, guys. I can't write on this one, so if you're new here and you're wondering why Mr. Bennett not writing, that is the reason. I cannot write on this one. It's not mine, alright? Only can read. So number 10, so just make notes. The role of the chloroplast in the cell is to change, and that is the light energy to chemical energy. That's the chloroplast change the cells to light energy to chemical. Don't forget that now. Let's move on to 11. Which of the following action needs the use of energy? And number 11 is D, the absorption of glucose in the kidney. Let's move on to 12. Which row in the table shows the overall movement of gases in and out of a leaf during the night? And carbon dioxide out and oxygen in. I have to look very careful on those, guys. I have to check both. Let's move on to 14. No, we're at 13. To be absorbed, food has to change into particles that are large and insoluble, small and insoluble, or small and soluble. And 13 is D, small and soluble. Let's move on to 14. Which tissue of the tooth forms a grinding surface? And number 14 is the enamel. Let's move on to 15. And this is paper 3, guys. We have done 2 papers already. Question 15 and 16 refer to the following diagram that show the digestive system. Which part is the duodenum, and that is the small intestine, and that is number 3 right here is the small intestine. Let's move on to 15. No, that was 15. Let's move on to 16. Which part produces the hydrochloric acid? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 5? Let's go back to the diagram so everyone can see. And that is in the stomach, so that is 1. We're learning, guys, we're learning. Let's move on to 17. Which of the following features is important for the efficient work of the villi in the digestive system? And 17 is D, a thin surface layer. Let's move on to 18. Which equation represents the aerobic respiration in animals? And number 18 is glucose plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide plus water. So 18 is D. Number 19. Which row in the table gives the action that occurs when a human inhales? And again, this one is a repeat from the last paper, and that is the diaphragm contract and the rib swing up and outwards. So no need to spend a lot of time on that. 29 likes. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I appreciate you guys so much. So on to 20. Now. During the motorcycle accident, the rider broke 3 ribs. Oh my. The rider broke 3 ribs. Guys, no buy no bike. Save and buy a car. One of them punctured his chest wall. The rider will find it very difficult to inhale because, is it A, air enters the space around the lungs. Air escapes from the lungs, or pressure in the lungs fall below oxygen. What may I say? Pressure in the lungs fall below atmospheric temperature, and the ribs cannot no longer move. So number 20 is A, air enters the space around the lungs. Thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for the likes. You are helping me to help people, and I really appreciate that. Let's move on to 21. My neighbor is in the house, in the building. Big up yourself, you good? Alright. 21. Which component of the blood carries oxygen? Is this the lymphocytes, or is it the phagocytes, or is it the platelets, or the red blood cell? And that would be D, the red blood cells. Let's move on to 22. Which of the following substance is not carried in the blood plasma? Is it amino acid? Is it hormone? Is it starch? Or is it D, urea? And 22 is C, starch. Let's move on to 23 and 4 related to this diagram, and it says shows the heart and associated blood vessel. We looked at one like this earlier, so let us see what they asked us for at 23. Which artery carries blood with the highest carbon dioxide concentration? And that would be 4. This. So the answer for 24, hold on. The answer for 23 is B. So 4. Let's move on to 24. Which blood vessel carries blood with the highest pressure? And that would be, let's go back up to the diagram, highest pressure, and that is right here, 5. So number 24 is C. Let's move on to 25. Which of the following is true of blood passing directly from the ileum to the liver after a meal? It has a high amino acid content, and that is indeed correct. Never watch the thing, you know. Want to learn too, yeah. 26. The function of the white blood cell is to, is it carbon dioxide, engulf bacteria, help blood to clot, or is it produce lymph? And 26 is B, so it engulf bacteria. Let's move on to 27. Can we get 30 likes? Can we get 30 likes? 27. Which of the following blood vessels carries blood with the lowest concentration of urea? Is it the hepatic vein, the pulmonary vein, renal artery, or the renal vein? And 27, we did that on the earlier paper, it's the renal vein. Let's move on to 28. Which region is the highest glucose concentration? 28 wants the highest glucose concentration. Is it 2? Is it 4? Or is it 5? Or is it 6? And that is indeed 2, so that is A. Let's move on to 29. What does they have in store for us? Which of the following would lead to a rise in the concentration of ADH in the blood? And running a long race on a hot, windy day. So number 29 is D. We are up to 30 likes. Hooray! Let's go, guys. 30 likes. Big up on yourself. Thank you guys so much. I can't let you read the chat now, guys. But big up everyone. Big up. Rep your flag. Rep your flag. Rep where you come from. Rep your school. Big up yourself. Rep your parents. Yeah. I feel love your parents, you know, and them take care of we. Them give you the support that we need. So let's move on to 30. Which of the following is the most likely response when the body temperature falls below normal? And that is capillaries in the skin become narrowed. Let me just sip on some soursop juice here. Mommy brought me soursop juice, man. It tastes so delicious. We got the entire Caribbean, not just Jamaica. Alright? Rep your flag, big up. Belize, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, Martinique. I saw something and something I don't remember it name now. St. Martin. Alright? Thank you guys so much. So I really appreciate all of you. So we are up to 30. So we're going to look at 30 now. Which of the following is most likely response when the body temperature falls below normal? And we say that was A. Capillaries in the skin become narrowed. Let's look at 31. The advantage of having a ball and socket joint at the hips is that A. A wide range of movement is possible. Is it B, ligaments are not needed? Is it C, more weight can be supported? Or is it D, movement happens in one plane only? And that is actually A, wide range of movement is possible. So let's move on to 32. Which of the following is a sense organ that detects change in the temperature? Is it the eye, Is it the ear? Is it the eye? Is it the nose? Is it the skin? And 32 is your skin. You should know that because you feel cold, right? Or you feel hot. 33. Which of the following is true of a relay neurons? We're just going to go straight to the answer for this one. And that is D. They are linked to other neurons. Alright? 34. Which pair of structures in the eye direct light rays are sharp focus? Sharp focus. And that is the cornea and lens. Big up on yourself, everybody. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. 35. Hormones are produced by, is it endocrine gland, sense organ, the kidney, or the liver? 35 is A, the endocrine glands. Let's move on to 36. More paper to come, guys. More paper to come. 36. Which of the following statements about reproduction is not true? Asexual reproduction produces genetically identical offspring. Asexual reproduction produces zygotes. C. In sexual reproduction, two gametes are formed. Or is it D. Sexual reproduction produces genetically different offspring. So 36 is B. Asexual reproduction produces zygote. Let's move on to 36. And again, our organs are being displayed. Let's see what they ask for. The diagram shows the human male reproductive system. Guys, so you see what you need to know? You need to know about the male and the female. Which part is the sperm duct? So, which number is this? Which part is the sperm duct? Is it at 3? Is it at 4? Or is it at 5? So 37 is 4 right here, and it is B. Let's move on to 38. We're going on fine so far. Thanks for the likes, guys. You're up to 31 likes. Thank you so much. So we look at the male, and now we look at the female. Adam and then Eve. The diagram shows the human female reproductive system. Let's see what they want us to know about it. Which part produces estrogen? Remember, the females produces estrogen, the men progesterone. And they ask us, which part produces the estrogen? And that would be at 2, right here. Let's move on to 39. Sorry I can't write on the paper, guys. You know this is not my style. Mediocre work is not my style. Alright? A human fetus receives amino acids for growth. And this says acids for growth through the placenta. So the placenta is like the feeding tube, right? So it's the placenta. So 39 is D. Let's not going to shell down 40 at the same time. Which method of birth control also help reduce risk of infection by an STI? Is it the condom? Is it the contraceptive? Is it the use of the IUD? Or is it the vasectomy? And that is the use of a condom. Alright, so let's move on. We're at 40, so we're going to move on to 41. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. 41, which of the following disease is caused by a fungus? And that is wingworm. Wingworm is caused by a fungus. 42, which of the following conditions can be controlled by the destruction of housefly? And it bronchitis, gastroenteritis, leptospirosis, or tuberculosis. So 42 is B, gastroenteritis. A gene is, so 43, a short length of DNA. So we're not going to go long into that. A gene is a short length of DNA. 44 now, which of the following human cell has only 23 chromosomes. Only 23. And that is the zygote. 45. Which of the following statements above about when a cell divides by mitosis is true? All the new nuclei are haploid. Each chromosome makes an exact copy of itself, and that is indeed B. So we're not going to go any further. 45 is B. Let's move on to 46. A receptive allele is it form of a gene that only shows the homogeneous state. Alright, so we're on to 46, and that is D. A recessive allele is a form of a gene that only shows the homozygous state. On to 47, and we have a table, and they say which row in the table show the pair of individuals who could have come from a single fertilized egg. Oh Lord. Is it A, A, B, 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 A? What the thing I go on this end? And it is D. 47 is D. Which of the following is a symptom of a disease? Diarrhea, headache, high temperature, or skin rash? And that is, surprisingly, an headache. Hemophilia is caused by the inheritance of a faulty allele. So we're on to 49, so we're going to go down to 50 now. We're not spending much time on these. We have one more paper coming up and another one coming up. Just pray and hope we can go through it all. 50. The diagram shows the inheritance of a sickle cell anemia in 3 generations. The mother is expecting a third child, and we did this one earlier, and it's 1 in 4. What is the chance that the child will develop a sickle cell anemia? And it's 1 in 4. Alright? There's a little maths for you. Let's move on to 51. A mother passes antibodies across the placenta to her fetus. Which type of immunity will be gained by the fetus? And that is a natural passive immunity. 52. Which of the following disease is normally spread from person to person by a vector? Is it AIDS, dengue fever, influenza, or is it kwashiorkor? And that is P, dengue fever. No dengue around here. On to 31 likes. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like button, guys. Unless it's only 31 persons online. Hit that like button. Hit it. We're on to 53 now. In which type of immunity are antibodies obtained from animal and injected into a person already suffering from a disease? And that is artificial acquired passive immunity. So on to 54. The commonest cause of coronary heart disease is, and that is B, excess intake of saturated fats. So guys, careful what you put in your body. No saturated fat around here. Number 55. How is the malaria parasite passed from mosquito to human? From mosquito to human. Through saliva when the female mosquito feeds. So don't make the mosquito bite you, alright? Alright, let's move on to 56. The water cycle again. These should be very basic because you guys would have done this in notes. So 56. Which stage represents condensation? Is it A, B, C, or D? And that would be B. Process of condensation. Back to the clouds, back to the clouds. Alright, we're on to 57. We're doing on fine so far. We're doing fine, doing absolutely fine, guys. Great job, great job. On to 32 likes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Which of the following gives the purpose of the filtration stage in water treatment? And that would be to trap fine organic matter. Alright, we're on to 58. I hope you guys seen better. Which of the following item is biodegradable? Is it aluminum saucepan, a glass bottle, gold necklace, or a woolen sweater? And 58 is D, a woolen sweater. At which stage are fluoride sometimes added to drinking water supplies? Is it A, after chlorination? Is it B, before sedimentation? Or is it C, immediately after filtration? Or is it D, just before screening? And 58 is D. No, we are at 59. 59 is A, after chlorination. Let's go on to number 6, up to 34 likes. Thanks, guys, thanks, I appreciate it. 60 now. Where in a biological filter bed system are anaerobic bacteria most active in breaking down sewage? Remember, guys, more subjects coming up. History. Somebody asking about the TD. I text the teacher today. She's working on the solution. So just keeping my fingers crossed. History is being worked on. And the foods also. So let's move on. So 60 is D. Where is in a biological filter bed are anaerobic bacteria most active in breaking down sewage? That is the sludge digester. Thank you guys so much for the likes. And we are on to our fourth paper. Alright, guys, this is the fourth paper. Let me just sip on a little juice. Make sure you guys sipping on your water also. $34 likes. So I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. Which of the following is a characteristics of a living organism? And that is D, reproducing offspring. So number 1 is D. Just bring my answer sheet closer to me. Sip on my juice. Waiting for 35 likes. Which of the following is lacking in a child who develops rickets? Is it iron, vitamin A, vitamin B, or vitamin D? It is indeed vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D will cause rickets. Develop rickets. Let's move on to 3. So far so good. We have done 3 paper, guys. Please remember, watch back the playback if you need anything, alright? Which of the following processes only occurs in plant? Is it excretion, photosynthesis, reproduction, or is it D, sensitivity? And that is B, easy, photosynthesis, alright? This is the way they produce food. Let's move on to 4. Which of the following is needed for the healthy development of the teeth? And that is the calcium salts, alright? So we're on to 5 now. Where are you going? Where are you going? see you. The diagram shows the carbon cycle. Guys, if you notice, the carbon cycle keep repeating, the nitrogen cycle, the water cycle, and so forth. So we have to know these, alright? The diagram shows the carbon cycle, during which stage is the oxygen release. And that would be number 5. Which stage is the oxygen release? So this carbon dioxide. And that would be A. Let's move on to 6. Which of the following is present in both animal cells and plant cells? Is it the cell membrane, the cell wall, the chloroplast, or the large vacuole? And that is indeed A. The cell membrane is common to both cells. Alright, if you're just joining and you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. There are other videos on this also, and more videos coming. Alright guys, appreciate the love for the likes, alright? Which part of the human cell carries out respiration? And that would be is it the endoplasm, rectum, the mitochondria, or the nucleus, or the vacuole? I think this answer is a little bit spooky. Which part of the human cell carry out respiration? And it is the mitochondria. If some answer she gave me. Number 8, the function of ribosomes in a cell is it anaerobic respiration, control of chemicals reaction, passing and inherited features, or synthesis of protein? If you are new here, welcome. Happy to have you here. And number 8 is D, synthesis of protein. Number 9, the table shows the overall intake and release of carbon dioxide and oxygen by animal and plants. Which row shows the correct movements of these gases? Animal releases carbon dioxide during the darkness, and during the daylight, animals takes in oxygen. So number 9, we look no further, it is A. Number 10, nitrogen can be used by plants, enters the root air cell as amino acid. So nitrogen can be used by plants, enters the root air cell as amino acid. On to 11. Just circle down the screen. Which of the following is correct? Equation for photosynthesis. Is it carbon dioxide plus water is equal to oxygen plus glucose? Glucose plus carbon dioxide is equal to water and oxygen. Or is it oxygen plus glucose is equal to carbon dioxide plus water, or water plus oxygen is equal to glucose plus carbon dioxide? We know we're supposed to get glucose and oxygen, so it is A. Which of the following is not needed for photosynthesis to happen? Is it carbon dioxide, light, oxygen, or water? And that would be C. Oxygen is produced, so therefore it is not needed at the start, right? So we use carbon dioxide plus water, and it gives us oxygen plus glucose. And glucose is a simple sugar. Alright, let's move on to 13. Which of the following reagents would you use to test for reducing sugar in a sample of food? Is it the Benedict solution, the Biret reagent, the ethanol, or the iodine solution? And that is the Benedict solution. Let's move on to 14. Which Which type of teeth are the wisdom teeth? Is it the canines, the incisors, the molars, or the premolars? And these are the molars. Alright, they give us the we must identify which part is the pancreas. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 5? And that is the pancreas, and it matches with B. So this is the pancreas, so 15 is B. (16) Which part produces the bile? So we have to go back up to the diagram. Is it 1, 2, 4, or 5? We just look which part produces the bile, and that is here. So this is D. Guys, I cannot mark like I used to, but nevertheless, the work has to go on. On to 17. Which of the following statements about digestion is correct? Amino acids are the products of starch digestion. Proteins are digestion to form fatty acid. The enzyme amylase digests amino acid into protein. When fats are digested, glycerol is formed. And 17 is D. When fats are digested, glycerol is formed. On to 18. Which equation represents aerobic respiration? And they are very smart. They turn it around. So it is D. Glucose plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide plus water. Thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate it. Number 19. You guys can always watch back the video. Thank you guys so much for participating. So I really appreciate you all. Number 19. Which row in the table shows the event that occur when humans start to breathe out? We did that one earlier. The diaphragm relaxes and the pressure of the air in the lungs increases. Alright? So 20. The uptake of oxygen in the body, in the blood by the alveoli would be reduced if the, so 20 is C, oxygen concentration in the alveoli is low. Hope you guys seeing. I can't check the chat now. Big up, guys. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Alright. So 20. Did we do 20? Oh yes, we said 20 is C. So on to 21. I just checked the chat. Persons are not talking in chat. Nevertheless, 21. Which of the following components of blood engulf bacteria is the lymphocyte, the phagocytes, the platelet, or the red blood cell? 21 is the phagocytes. On to 22. Which of the following substance will reduce the ability of the blood to carry oxygen? Is it the alcohol, the caffeine, the carbon monoxide, or the nicotine? So 22 is C, carbon monoxide. (23) and 24 refers to the diagram for the heart associated blood. And we know what you're going to ask, alright? Which blood vessel carry deoxygenated blood? So them ask for oxygenated blood, them ask for deoxygenated blood, and them asking for all type of blood. So let us see deoxygenated blood. That would be 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 carry deoxygenated blood. This should be in your notes. 24. Which chamber of the heart of Cupid valves at their exit? Which chamber of the heart of cuspid valves at their exit? And that would be B, 2 and 7. So it's 2 and 7. So cuspid. On to 25. Which of the following function of the lymphatic system? And that is the transport of urea to the kidneys. So 25 is C. On to 26. If you're new here, please subscribe. 26. Some seeds store oil in their food reserves. Which substance is used to test for oil in a seed? And that would be ethanol. So 23 is C. 27. The hormone that helps to control the water concentration in the blood is it the ADH, the adrenaline, the glucogen, or the insulin? And that is the ADH. On to 28, it's another diagram. Which part is the glomerulus? Is it 2, 4, 5, or 6? And that is 2, so it's A. So 28 is A. 29, which gland releases ADH? And that would be the pituitary gland releases ADH. 30. Which material stops the bone in a joint is being pulled apart during the normal use? Which material stops the bones in a joint in being pulled apart during the normal use? And it is the ligaments. So 30 is ligament. Which action occurs when the bent arm is extended? Is it A, biceps contract, triceps muscle contracts, or is it B, biceps contracts, triceps relaxes, or is it C, biceps relaxes and the triceps contracts? So 31 is C. We're not going to go any further. Let's move on to 32. Which of the following sense organs both detects chemicals? Is it the ear and the eye and the nose and the tongue and the ear? So 32 is the nose and the tongue. 33. Which of the following triggers off a reflex action? An effector, an impulse, a response, a stimulus? And that is a stimulus. So 33 is a stimulus. 34. If the optic nerve were accidentally cut through, it would. Can you just imagine that? Let too little reach the retina, prevent the impulse passing to the brain. So the optic nerve, that would be B, prevent impulses passing to the brain. 35. The hormone insulin helps to control, and that is the blood glucose concentration. So always remember the function of the insulin. Alright, on to 36. Which row in the table shows correct features of asexual and sexual reproduction? Is it A? In asexual reproductive, gametes are involved. Is it and sexual offspring not genetically identical, or is it B? Only one parent is needed in asexual, that is true, and sexual reproduction, gametes involved. So 36 is B. Which part is the urethra? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? and that is 3, the urethra. So right here at number 3 is the urethra. So let's move on to 38. Guys, notice after the male comes the female in all the papers so far. The diagram shows the human female reproductive system. Let's just see what they want to know about it. In which part does fertilization occur? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 6? It's right here, and that is 38 is B. (39) Identical twins are formed when a zygote split into 2 cells and then separate. An unfertilized egg splits into 2. 1 egg cell is fertilized by 2 sperm, or D. 2 egg cells are fertilized by the same sperm. So 39 is A. A zygote split into 2 cells, then separate. So they are identical, it's the same cell. On to 40. A baby is born seriously underweight at the end of the normal pregnancy. The best explanation for this is that during the pregnancy, the mother ate a diet rich in iron, did not do regular exercise, gave up her slimming diet, was a heavy smoker, and that would be D. So 40 is D. Which of the following diseases is an example of an STI? Is it influenza, pneumonia, wingworm, or is it D, syphilis? And that is indeed syphilis. Which of the following are signs or symptoms typically of malaria? Is it the abdominal cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting, hot sweats and shivering, or is it rash on the face of the chest? And that is C, hot sweats and shivering. The unit of inheritance is, just gonna give you the answer for that one. That is C, a gene. A chromosome is it a chain of genes, and that is exactly what it is. On to 45. A nucleus of a muscle cell or a snail contains 12 pairs of chromosomes. How many chromosomes will be present in the nucleus of each daughter cell after it divides by mitosis? Is it 6, 12, 24, or 48? And it will double, so that is 24. 46. Which of the following is a feature of meiosis? And that is C. It results in the production of haploid cells. Haploid cells. Let's move on to 47. The diagram: inheritance of a cystic fibrosis in a family. Which pair of people must both be heterozygous for the cystic fibrosis gene? And I don't know why I want to do them murder, so 47 is B, 2 and 4. I think I need a little break after this. The diagram shows the inheritance of sickle cell anemia in 3 generations of a family. The mother is expecting her 3rd child. Where have we seen this before? And 2 other papers, ain't it? 48. What is chance that a child 8 will be a female and show sickle cell anemia in her phenotype? And that would be 1 in 8, and that is D. You've seen that one before. 49. A boy is the only person in a family that suffers from albinism. His parents then have another baby boy. What are the chances that the baby will also suffer from albinism? And that is 1 out of 4, so that's 25%. So it's just 25% chance. 50. Which of the following is a stage genetic engineering for the production of human insulin? And that would be D, inserting human DNA into bacteria. 51. The vector which disease as a larval stage that hangs from the surface film of a stagnant water, and that is malaria. On to 53. Which component of the blood carries antibodies? Which component? And that is the plasma. So what are they? You know, say all along could I do that, guys? What is this? Jesus Christ. 54. I can't believe this. Which type of immunity may be gained by a child while breastfeeding? And that is natural acquired. Oh, yeah, come off. Thought it would stick. That's my problem. So 54 is D. 55. No. Oh, yeah, 54. On to 55 now. Which gas is produced in the sludge digester of a sewage treatment works? Is it carbon monoxide, methane, nitrogen, or oxygen? And that is, even though it will come off, methane. At least you see highlight for a little time. I'm feeling more better now. Alright guys, up to 36 likes. Thank you so much. On to 56. The human immune deficiency virus, immunodeficiency virus is transmitted by all the routes except, is it drinking contaminated water, during the birth process, is it sexual intercourse, or transfusion of untreated blood? So 56 is A, drinking contaminated water. 57, which, just highlight it for a little bit, not gonna stay though, nevertheless, this is much better than just reading. 57, which material is not biodegradable? Cotton wool, glass bottle, newspaper, twigs, and leaves. So 57 is glass bottles. None. So 57 is B. On to 58. So we're almost there, just 3 to go. 58, 59, and 60. And we have the final paper coming up. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Sometimes you feel like I'm alone, but work got to go on. I got to do it. 58, rain falls when the cloud rise over mountain. This is because, and that is D, water vapor in the air condense to form rain droplets. On to 59. A biodegradable substance is one that A, can be broken down by microorganisms. Alright, so that's biodegradable if it can be broken down by microorganisms. For the last one on this paper, and it's 60, in a biological filter system of treating sewage, aerobic bacteria are most active in the, and that would be the percolating filter. Alright guys, we're on to the final paper. Please leave a like if you're just joining. There are 4 other papers that you need to watch over. Alright, this is the final paper, and again, thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, which of the following is not a characteristics of a living thing? And you're on to the final paper, and that is A, eating. A car may seem to have some of the characteristics of a living thing. Which can it never have? Is it execution, nutrition, reproduction, or respiration? And that is reproduction, right? Never, 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 ever, ever, never, ever, ever. Alright, on to number 3. Which of the following best definition of growth of an organism? Jesus. I get myself 37 likes. Thanks guys, thanks for that like. I appreciate it. Which of the following is best definition of growth of an organism? And number 3, that is C, increasing the amount of living material. On to 4, and it's the food web again. We have done this in earlier videos. The tertiary consumer in the food web are, and that would be 2 and 3. We did this earlier. So no need to spend the whole day on it. It's final paper guys for today. I want to wish you guys all the best. It was 5 paper was done, so go back to the 4 paper and watch them. Alright, if you're new here, there are 4 paper that was done. Go on and check it out. It's the same video, just watch it from start again. Alright, which stage represent denitrification? And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this paper, and that is B, denitrification. So our science people always say them bright, be a big word. Which part contains the chromosomes? Number 6, which part contains the chromosomes? And that would be C. Just highlight it a bit. And if you can highlight. I'm gonna for the rest of the time, I'm gonna buy the books. I'm not gonna rent them. Alright. The diagram shows a plant cell. Up to 38 likes guys, thanks. Which part is made of cellulose? Is it 1, 2, 4? And we know cellulose cannot be broken down, alright? What's the next name for cellulose? That is 2. Take my teacher. So that is B, right here. Cellulose, and that is good for digestion. Number 8. The difference between diffusion and osmosis is diffusion only happens when gases in solution. In osmosis, solution move from higher to lower concentration. Movement is from a low to a high concentration in diffusion. Osmosis only occurs through a partially semi-permeable membrane, and that is D. Osmosis occurs into a partially semi-permeable membrane, and it's from a dilute to a concentrated area. Since I know my science, I know. Guys, just 51 more to go. Let's go. Exam awaits. All the best. You guys got this. You got this. The main cause of a tooth decay is, I'm just gonna go straight to the answer. and that's the action of the bacteria on sugar. Number 10, which is lacking in the diet of a child with kwashiorkor, and that would be proteins. Alright, so the chapter build up again. Number 11, in which part of the digestive system is lipase most active? And that would be the ileum. So number 12 now, digestion is the A, absorption of food particles in the blood, or is it B, the breakdown? Can you see that word there? Breakdown of large particles into small, smaller ones. You know, hear me as spit lyrics? Yeah. Alright, number 13. Which material holds a tooth in the jawbone? Which material holds a tooth in the jawbone? Oh, you must state what the name will hold the tooth. And that would be, as here, roll in there. That's the cement. Alright. Which part is the liver? That one here looks spooky. So shouldn't it be 5? Yeah, see the liver right here. So number 14 is D. That's the liver right there. Alright, 15. Which parts produce enzyme that digest protein? I'm just gonna go straight to the answer. This is the last paper, and that's 1 and 2. 1 and 2. In the stomach and in the bile. The pancreas rather. The bile and the pancreas. So that's A. 16. Carbohydrate is stored in the liver as, is it alcohol, bile, cellulose, or glycogen? And number 16 is glycogen. Number 17. Which substance is mainly absorbed through the walls of the colon? This is amino acid, fatty acid. Oh, let me just highlight this. Alright. On to 17 now. And which substance is mainly absorbed through the walls of the colon? And that is water. Which equation represents aerobic respiration in plants? I'm just going to go straight to that one. And it's carbon, it's glucose plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide plus water. This one is a repeat. Lactic acid produced when muscles do not get enough. Is it carbon dioxide, glucose, oxygen, or water? And that one is oxygen. Think about a 400-meter runner. So them tired and them done run. Olympics time, you know. Which row in the table show the action that occurs when the external intercostal muscle contracts? So 20. That is C. The volume of the chest cavity increases and the pressure in the air lungs decreases. 21. Which row in the table shows the event that happens as blood flows through the muscle during exercise? Carbon dioxide becomes hydrogenated carbonated ions, and oxygen is released from the oxyhemoglobin. So that is indeed B. So 21 is B. 22. Lymphocytes produce substances that kill bacteria. These substances are called, is it antibiotics, is it antibodies, or is it platelets or toxins? So 22 is B, antibodies. The lymphocytes produce antibodies. Let me just highlight it one at a time. On to 23, which the names of the blood vessels that join the lungs to the heart are. This is the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein. So 23 is B. On to 24. The diagram shows the heart and associated blood vessel. And let's see what they ask us about that. We see the heart so regular. Which chambers are cause blood to flow to the arm and leg? The arm and leg. And that is 7 and 8. Arm and leg, 7 and 8. So 24 is C. On to 25. The movement of oxygen between the capillaries and tissues takes place by, and that is diffusion. 26. Which row in the table shows features of arteries and veins? Correct one, right? They didn't say correct, they just said features, so we know it's correct. And that is C. Blood pushed away from the artery and the vein. Blood flows toward the heart. So the vein carry blood to the heart. 27. Which part of the eye carry the function shown? Okay, so which part of the eye bends, refract light and rays? Is it the cornea, the lens, and the lens? So it's an elimination process, right? So we check if one. So far it could be B or A because the cornea do that. We check convert light into nerve impulse. And we know say the choroid don't do that, so the retina. So it is B. So 27 is B. Almost halfway there, almost halfway. I'm gonna finish at 6. Latest. 28. The diagram shows a kidney tubule and some of its blood vessel. Which region is the water reabsorbed and controlled by the ADH? And that would be the 4 and 5. So that is B. 29. Which events happen when a higher than normal amount of ADH is released? The urine concentration increase. We know that's a fair fact. So it's either this or this. We're going to look at the urine volume. The urine volume decreases. So 29 is C. Thanks everyone for watching, really appreciate it, even though it's your exam. Alright, which material in an elbow joint stop the bones rubbing together? Is it the cartilage, the ligaments, the muscle, or the tendon? And that is the cartilage. We're halfway there, we're halfway there, we're halfway there. Guys, I do this early so you guys can watch the playback again. Alright, 31. Which row in the table describe the role and feature of the tendon? And the tendon join bone to the muscle and it's non-elastic. So that is C. Tendons join bones to muscle and they are non-elastic. So there we go. On to 32, we're doing on fine, we're going on fine. A student has a severe ear infection. Because of this, she may suffer a temporary loss of, is it balance, sight, smell, or taste? And that is balance. 33. Which reflex pathway from a receptor to an effector is correct? I'm just going to look for the correct answer. Sensor neuron to connect a neuron to motor neuron. So from receptor to effector is sensor neuron connect a neuron to motor neuron. 34. Which row in the table gives the action that happens when a person moves from a bright room to a dim room? Circular muscle of the iris relax and the radial muscle of the iris contract. So 34 is C. 10 people watching, the more people watching now. Up, 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 up. Hey, likes, people, just put a like there, please. If you're new, put a like. Alright, so 35. Which process involves a negative feedback system? The absorption of amino acid by the villi, the automatic action of the swallowing, the digestion of starch in the mouth, and that would be the regulation of the body temperature. So 35 is D. 36. Which hormone will be present in a high concentration throughout pregnancy? And that would be progesterone. Big up Shelly and Fraser Price. Alright. Which part produces the testosterone? So 37 would be 1. So right here. Or right here rather. So 37 is 1. Or A. Which part store the fully developed sperm cell? Fully developed. Fully developed. So 38 would be right here. Fully developed, that's say, you know. Hey, fully developed. So 38 is D. Check it again, bro. Check it again. The diagram shows the human female reproductive system. I'm going to show you guys the answer sheet at the end, alright? It was produced by persons from CSEC. So, I think all the solutions are correct, barring that about 40 people would overlook it, alright? So, what number are we now? Oh yeah, the female. Which part is shed during menstruation? And the miserable time when they ate all men. Alright, so 39. What the shedding go on? And that would be right here at 4. Shedding. Them time they them bedding. Them lovely bedding. Alright, so let's look at 40. Which change is caused by both estrogen and testosterone? Is it breaking of the voice, development of breast, or growth of pubic hair? So that would be growth of pubic hair. So 40 would be public ear time, alright? So 40 is C. Let's move on to 41. We're gonna finish before 6 guys, or 7, some of your time, and some of your time 3. The diagram shows the life cycle of a mosquito. Which stage acts as the vector of the malaria pathogen? The diagram shows the life cycle of the mosquito, which vector stage acts as the vector of the malaria pathogen. And that is 41, and it is A, the adult. Alright? (42) Which type of immunity will a person gain if they have a disease and they recover from it? Like this corona, and it will be an acquired active immunity. So 41 was this, and 42 is A. Let's move on to 43. Just 17 more to go, guys. Just 17 more to go. Just 17 more to go. Just 17. Alright, so in all, we did 300 questions at the end of this paper. And there's one that I uploaded already. Gamma radiation can change the structure of the DNA. This change is called, let's hear it, for mutation. As the government continue to experiment on humans, mutation. Alright, let's move on to 44, which is true of meiosis. And these should come in notes. Chromatids are produced that differ from each other. So 44 is, we have a winner, and that winner is A. On to 46, genes are built from two or more allies, are linked to form a pair of allies, are only present in dividing cells, are responsible for the inheritance of features. So 45 is D. Your mother genes and your father genes. Neither of the parents in the family show the symptoms of albinism. They have two children, one of whom has albinism. What is the chance of the child will be heterozygous for albinism? So 46 would be 50% aminobutyrinase. Alright. Why them word officer out to go? Joke thing. 47, which statement is true of mitosis? It can only occur during sexual reproduction, not a lie. It can only occur in plant, not a lie. The amount of DNA in a new cell is the same as the parent cell. So 47 is this. Alright. Guys, I'm so sorry I discovered this late. I'm so sorry. I could have been marking them all along, you know, man. We got friends from Guyana, all around the Caribbean, St. Martin, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Jamaica, everybody big up himself. The diagram shows the inheritance of a sickle cell anemia in a family, and they said that most of the time you see this, I'm tired of this now. I'm tired. I hope you guys figure out the diagram ones, alright? So 48, the genotypes of people 4 and 5 should be FT and FT according to my answer sheet. So 49, in a cystic fibrous thick mucus blocks airways, causing major problem. A new treatment involves spraying bacteria containing the genes for normal running mucus into the airways. This is an example of the use of, and that would be B, genetic engineering. On to 45, and to 50 rather. Just 10 more to go, guys. You guys have been awesome. Why is chlorine added to water during the water purification? And it's to destroy microorganism. Microorganism. 51. Which disease can be treated with an antifungal cream? Is it gonorrhea, herpes, ringworm, or typhoid? And 51 is ringworm. Ringworm. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Alright, 52. Which can help to reduce the risk of contracting HIV, the causative agent of AIDS? Is it a healthy diet, antibiotic injection, not drinking contaminated water, or D, using a condom? See it in a science, use it. Alright, so on to 53, more diagrams coming to. Which is the best definition of a drug? Chemical that harms the body, a chemical that is injected into the body, a substance that alters the body metabolism. And from that, we know say Addis. I see. On to 54. The amount which substance is shown by the graph. The amount of which substance is shown by the graph. Oh Lord, let me say something. The graph shows the amount of substance in the blood after 2 injections of vaccine. Think about it, guys. When you inject vaccine, somebody said D. What number you saying is D? Rapid. Lyrics. What number is D? Is it 54 or D? And it is antibodies, not pathogen. (55) Which disease can be spread by unpasteurized milk? Is it cholera, influenza, tuberculosis, or typhoid? We're up to 42 likes. Big up, guys. Big up. I'm just seeing that. Big up, big up, big up. Alright, so 55. Almost at the end. You guys have been awesome. Which disease can be spread by unpasteurized milk? And that is tuberculosis. I learned something. 56. Guys, remember to like. If you are new here, subscribe and like. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't wish to be a subscriber, that's fine. Thanks all the same. Alright, so 56. Which are produced by white blood cell in the presence of pathogen? Is it antibiotics, antibiotic, or antiseptic? So 56 is antibodies. And here we go again with the water cycle. Some condensation or some evaporation or something. Which of the following disease is caused by a protozoan? Is it dengue, diabetes? They didn't ask anything about that. No. Well, let me see something. Them ask anything about it. Oh, which stage represent precipitation? I was wondering, which stage represent precipitation? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? So here we have A, and that is indeed A. Precipitation. Precipitation. On to 58. And I'm so happy to reach so close to the end. Thank you guys so much. Up to 43 likes and 11 persons watching. Guys, it's much more watching than that, trust me. So 58. Which of the following diseases is caused by a protozoan? And that is malaria. Which of the following diseases is caused by a protozoan? And that is malaria. So malaria is a protozoan. And on to the final two. And you guys are indeed awesome. I'm going to show you guys the answer sheet a bit. So just keep watching. In the active sludge treatment of sewage, aerobic bacteria are most active in the, is it a respiration tank, sedimation tank, sediment tank, or the sludge digester? So 59 is A, aeration tank. And the final one, but before you guys go, I want to show you the answer sheet that was provided. So, alright, 60. The purpose of adding fluoride to drink water is to A. Destroy microorganisms in the water. B. Improve the flavor of the water. Or is it C. Make teeth more resistant to acid damage? And we look no further. It's on to C is the answer. Oh guys, the answer is far down, I forgot. So it's C for 60. Thank you guys so much for watching. Mr. Bennett appreciate you all. Just do remember there are other topics, other subjects coming up. Oh, there's the answer sheet. Just in case you guys, the book I provide the answer sheet. So you guys, and it have a little notes along with it. So for the persons who may have discrepancies, remember Mr. Bennett is not the knower of all knowledge. So I'm not claiming that your answer is incorrect. But these were provided by the book, and we are all humans, they can make mistakes too. However, many persons would have to make the same mistake as they would have gone over it several times. Alright, so there are the answer sheets. Again guys, I'm going to end the live, so do take care. Please watch the video from the start again, and all the very best in your examination. Mr. Bennett appreciate you all. If you have not subscribed, please remember to do so. If it's a choice not to do so, thanks for watching, but you can share it with other persons even if you don't want to subscribe. So thank you guys all for watching. Mr. Bennett appreciate you. This is Mr. Bennett, no doubt, out.